Want a home and a workshop that's cheaper and faster to build than a traditional house? That's what a barndominium promises, but there are definitely trade-offs. Today, we're going to cover everything: the cost, different build types, how to handle permits and financing, the real timeline, the pros and cons, and the must-know mistakes to avoid. So what exactly is a barndominium? A barndo blends the words barn and condominium. It's usually a metal or wood frame shell that has finished living space inside, and often a built-in shop or garage. It's the ultimate multi-purpose building. So why are so many people choosing to build barndominiums? The biggest reasons are a cheaper shell and faster construction compared to conventional stick-built homes. This means you can get into your new home quicker and potentially save some money on the structure itself. Plus, they are perfect for creating huge, open floor plans that are easy to customize. If you're a hobbyist, a woodworker, or just need a lot of garage space, having your shop and living quarters under one roof is a dream come true. You can literally walk from your living room straight into your workshop. Let's talk money. What does a barndo really cost? A realistic range for many builds is about $60 to $160 per square foot. However, mid-range or upscale barndos, especially those with a large, finished shop, can easily run much higher. Some premium builds go way beyond that, so it's always best to get local quotes. Now, you'll see ads for kits, which can seem really cheap, maybe $20 to $50 a square foot. But that's usually just for the metal shell itself. That price doesn't include the foundation, all your interior finishes, plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and all the site work. Those are huge additional costs you have to budget for. When it comes to the structure and materials, you mainly have three choices. First is steel. A steel frame goes up incredibly fast, it's very durable, and the exterior requires very little maintenance. The downside? You have to get the insulation right. If you don't, you can have issues with condensation, and it can be noisy when it rains. Your second option is a wood frame, either a pole barn or traditional framing. Wood offers better natural insulation and has a warmer, more traditional aesthetic. It's also often easier to modify the interior layouts down the road. The trade-off is that it might cost more in labor and will require different exterior maintenance over time. And finally, you have a hybrid. This is a very common option that combines a steel shell with wood-framed interior walls. It can give you the best of both worlds, the durability and speed of steel on the outside, with the flexibility and familiarity of wood framing on the inside. Let's move on to the groundwork. Your site, foundation, and utilities are critical. For the foundation, many lenders and building codes will require a permanent concrete foundation for residential financing. You can't just put posts in the ground and call it a day. Plan this early, because the foundation is a major cost. And for utilities, if you're building on a rural piece of land, you might need to install a septic system, drill a well for water, and run power lines out to your site. This can easily add tens of thousands of dollars to your budget before you even start building the house itself. Okay, let's talk about the dreaded paperwork: permits, zoning, and building codes. This is where people get into trouble. Zoning is critical. Just because you're building a barn, don't assume you can build it anywhere. Some agricultural zones are great for barndos, but you must verify that residential use is permitted. You may have to apply for a special permit or a variance. Building codes also vary wildly from county to county and state to state. The best thing you can do is talk to your local code official very early in the process. Show them your plans. This will help you avoid costly redesigns or long delays down the road. Now, how do you pay for it? Financing a barndominium can be a little tricky. Traditional mortgages can sometimes be harder to get for unconventional homes. Your best options often include construction loans, which then convert to a mortgage. In some cases, FHA, VA, or USDA loans might be available, especially in eligible rural areas. Lenders will want to see detailed plans. They'll require that permanent foundation we talked about, and they'll order a full appraisal. Here's a big tip: talk to lenders early. Some might treat a barndo like a commercial building instead of a home, which can affect your interest rates and the down payment required. So, how long does it really take to build? The shell itself can go up really fast. A steel kit can be erected in just a few days or weeks, which is much quicker than a traditional home. But remember, the finish work, running utilities, waiting on inspections, and dealing with weather delays can push the total project time to several months. Don't fall for promises of a super quick build without having a contingency plan. Let's recap the biggest pros. You get a cost-effective shell, incredibly flexible open floor plans, that amazing integrated shop space, low exterior maintenance with a metal shell, and even DIY-friendly kit options if you're handy. But we have to be honest about the cons. You can run into major headaches with zoning and permits. Reselling a barndo can be a challenge in some markets where they aren't common. As we mentioned, financing can be more complicated. And if you don't plan correctly, you can face real problems with insulation, condensation, and acoustics. You also need to find a local builder who actually has experience with these types of structures. Let's cover the most common mistakes to avoid. First, don't assume a kit includes everything. It almost never includes insulation, drywall, flooring, HVAC, or your septic and well. Second, don't skip that early conversation with your local code official and a lender. Third, do not under-budget for site prep and utility hookups. And finally, don't just choose the cheapest shell without a solid plan for insulation and condensation control. So what are the upgrades that really matter? Invest your money in proper insulation, vapor barriers, and a correctly sized HVAC system. This is crucial for your comfort and your energy bills. Upgrading your windows and doors and installing that permanent foundation will seriously improve your financing options and resale value. For metal buildings, look into thermal breaks to prevent heat transfer and manage condensation. What about maintenance and insurance? The good news is that exterior metal panels are very low maintenance, and the roofs can last for decades, though they still need occasional inspections. Getting insurance is usually similar to other custom homes, but always check with your provider for any exceptions. Having your engineered plans and documentation ready will make this process much smoother. Let's look at a couple of real-world examples. On the low-budget end, you could have a small, DIY tiny barndo. For a very small footprint, you might get it done for a lower total cost. But remember all those finishing and site costs. If you're seriously thinking about building a barndominium, your first two steps should be checking your local zoning regulations and talking to a lender who has experience with them. If you want, drop your state or county in the comments below, and I'll do my best to help you find the right next steps. Thanks for watching.